Representative Miller.
Thank you, Chairman DeFazio and Ranking Member Graves. And thank all of you all for being here today.
Salufa, if you need to get a plane, go. They don't hold planes for me. They're not going to hold it for you.
Maximus Alpha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Be safe. It is of the utmost importance that we continue to focus on stabilizing our domestic industries by preventing unfair business practices. We know that anti-competitive business practices among the SOEs should damage private sector rail cars manufacturing, could damage rail car manufacturing, and create an imbalance leading to the loss of jobs in the United States. The rail car manufacturing industry is one that we must protect. Mr. Galloway, I enjoyed your quote on the internal structure of how a competitive market is supposed to work. The advantages given to state-owned enterprises threaten to undermine the benefits gained from fair competition in true private sector productions, such as improving efficiency and technological advancement. You state that the anti-competitive practices displace private sector competitors, causing a domino effect throughout the United States supply chains and the business owners, workers, and families who rely on them. What are some ways in which Congress can improve oversight to ensure that state-owned enterprises do not upset our rail economy?
I think from a policy perspective and an action perspective, in ensuring that state-owned enterprises are behaving as good corporate citizens, they're making the investments necessary in the U.S. to produce goods here in the U.S. Rather than offshoring their supply chains and their goods production back to the Chinese economy or elsewhere is critical to maintaining that level playing field. Unfortunately, under the current structure of SOEs, that's very unlikely to occur. And not being a policymaker, I'm uncertain on what the best path forward would be to ensure that if CRRC is going to operate here in the U.S. and is going to provide rail cars, that they're doing it above board and they're doing it as a good corporate citizen, short of preventing them from actually operating here in the U.S. to begin with.
What is the future of the world market if this behavior continues?
Well, I think we're already seeing with the future of the world market, which is heavy displacement of domestic rail car manufacturing in many different countries. I cited earlier the Australian example where the freight rail car manufacturing sector has been completely decimated, and the last remaining producer moved their operations to China in order to compete with Chinese firms with CRRC. And you're seeing this type of cascading effect across a lot of other markets, both developed and developing, where there were rail car sectors that existed that are no longer the case.
Thank you. Mr. Washington, what are the top issues that you are dealing with as a transit agency with foreign companies that bid and operate here?
Well, I think one of the top issues is making sure that they invest in the local area, which is why we included in the evaluation criteria local employment plans and local employment requirements. I think the other big thing is suppliers as well. Having suppliers near or in close proximity, in this case to final assembly plants, is very, very important as well. I see those as some of the top challenges.
Would those suppliers be locally owned as well?
Pardon me?
Would the suppliers be locally owned?
The suppliers can be locally owned, yes. We prefer that. We definitely prefer that, which is why I said in my statement the idea that we need to stand up our own passenger rail car manufacturing facility in this country / an industrial yard with suppliers located there as well.
Okay, thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank